240 million people, most of them are under 65% under the age of 25. It's a huge young population. Any of our European counterpart would appreciate more that what aging population brings challenges to the respective national governments and what sort of youth and young contributors in any economy, in any society, has a value. So that added value is there. But of course it's a challenge at the same time that if we do not have a sort of a skilled or a semi-skilled youth, that energy can be blasted, it can be disrupted, it can even lead towards sometimes social unrest or anarchy even. So we have to channelize that, we have to plan that, and that planning needs a very fine execution plan also. So we are already working on that. There are some training programs which we've been focusing and which we have designed. There are programs. We are trying to bring an ambitious plan in which we can train around 1 million nurses in next decade. 1 million nurses in 1 decade is and can be achievable if we just set our priorities right, which we are doing. What we are doing over there, that we are trying to enhance the standard and inspection of different medical institution, undergrad level, postgrad level. The nursing council is being revamped. So this is an area which I feel is very close to the heart of the current caretaker government, and this is one of the priority which we are focusing on. Along with this, some other vocational training and skill programs have been introduced. We are exploring the partnership with Siemens, Germany. Few other European partners are also investing in development of these skills. That is one area, I think so, where we should focus and invest more. Human resource development is the answer. That is the capital. I was once misquoted when I was asked that, oh, people are leaving this country, and I just abruptly said, so what? So what was not the final comment. There was a rational explanation behind that, so what? And that was that in last 5, 6 or 7 decades, many people have migrated to the European continent particularly, and America for that matter, from South Asia, be India or Pakistan or Bangladesh. And initially they were thought that it's a brain drain. But after a few decades, when they settled there, they did a lot of accomplishment, and their return was then treated as a brain asset. They came back with the capital gain, with the expertise they developed over there. So whosoever immigrates from point A to point B is not just a story of failure. It's rather a beginning of a new success journey. So we should take it in a very sanguine and positive manner, and the entire story is not that bleak. So that actually was my purpose when I was commenting on that. Along with that, you know that we have initiated a very formal platform by the name of SIFC, and SIFC is an idea where the foreign investment could be attracted more. And this foreign investment is not an invitation to the regional players. It is an invitation to all players, be it in region or beyond the region. The idea was, there was a lot of criticism on the government for doing its business quite slow. The bureaucratic hurdles and associated challenges with that. The outgoing parliament, they passed a law and they created this body which has representation at the highest level, both from military and civil. And this coalescing of governance player on one single platform provides a lot of opportunity for doing ease of business. So all the procedures are cut down when it comes to SIFC. by cutting down, I mean that they are rationalized, their timelines are defined, and the achievables are stated over there and monitored even at that platform. We would be hearing some good news probably within weeks of receiving and having some MOUs regarding the investments on the platform of SIFC to the tune of billions of dollars from regional countries. And the rest of the potential in terms of agriculture, IT, mining, and others are also being showcased, and there is a lot of interest from other players also. Connectivity, Central Asian players, particularly Uzbekistan's Trans Railway network from Uzbekistan, Afghanistan to Pakistan is another ambitious program to which everyone is quite supportive. I had conversations not just with Central Asian leaders, but through them we have learned that European and Americans are also interested in this sort of connectivity, along with the Chinese leadership and the Russians also. So there seems to be a consensus. We are trying to upgrade Quetta-Taftan railway network, which would bring us to the new corridor and linking us to the North Caucasus, Azerbaijan, Iran, and the rest. So these are areas where we feel that we would leave our legacy. On the domestic front, we are trying to revamp our taxation system because we have realized that until and unless we do not rationalize our expenditure and we do not generate our more revenues, you cannot run the country like this. The government has to focus and limit its expenditure habits, and it has to create new venues for creating more revenue. Along with that, I feel relatively media is very open, very independent, more independent probably, as many prime ministers would claim, than European media or American media or other medias, you know. Our media is beyond any sort of control, particularly the social media. The print and electronic is still regulated. They are also, well, all of us agree on regulations, but digital space and social media has created a new milieu, a political milieu, in which people are thinking, having discourses, discussions. So these are the challenges which is not being catered for by relatively traditional media. I mean, when I was a young kid, on the breakfast we would read the Jang or the Mashriq newspaper in the morning. But when I wake up now, I have to go through and scroll all my WhatsApp messages, see what is happening on the YouTube, you know, or all the vlogs and the rest of the associated activities. So this is a new entrant into the political spectrum of this country. And they are becoming very popular. And that popularity in last 2.5 years has turned into a new level. And it's a challenge and opportunity both to the traditional media, be it print or electronic as well. And it has its own political colors. It has its own political colors and quite organic. And for very right reasons. In any country, in the manner, the mushroom growth which we are having over here, if it would have been there and the kind of political polarization we are experiencing right now would have been a very favorite tool for anyone to express themselves. Whenever there are depolarization, as we were talking on that table, you go to the digital space and social media, how Middle East is being portrayed, the entire conflict over there, and how these tools on both sides, be it pro-Israeli or pro-Palestinian, both are using those tools to advance their narrative, to send their messages, And these tools have become very, very effective in terms of messaging. So this is another area which I feel Pakistan is quite, I wouldn't use the word struggling, but yes, in a way, it is a struggle. That how do you balance out that at the same time you don't want to stifle and put a stop to all these modern gadgetries and tools, and at the same time you try to design and develop a regulatory program where the terms of references could be agreed generally with the society, how to go about it. So this is the kind of conversation which is probably lacking at the moment. We need one. In Parliament, outside Parliament, we have got half of the Parliament, at least Senate can take a lead role on that if they choose to. If not, then again, it has to be left to the next Parliament when it comes into existence. Domestic political crisis, if it is one, I don't see it as a crisis. For me, it's one of the routine transformation in post-2008 experiment of ours. 3 of the parliament stints have been completed. It's a good continuation in the transitional democracy of Pakistan. And if we continue in this process, I'm quite optimistic on that account that there would be more political education of the participants, of the voters, of the political parties, and gradually and slowly people will try to link the political parties with their delivery promises and delivery systems. If they don't, maybe next 2, 3 or 4 stint of parliaments, the entire transformation will face a very serious challenge from the masses. Because at the end of the day, the aspiring of legitimate political power by any political party is due to promise of a service delivery. If you do not go for the service delivery to the people, the entire argument, legitimate argument, loses its moral compass. And the performance of government has to be linked with the essence of democracy. So if someone is genuinely a believer in the democratic dispensation, they have to have service delivery better. Because no system is dogmatic. It is the trial and error system which many of our Western counterparts have learned on the Western Hemisphere and on the European continent particularly. And those experiences have also been transformed with different kinds of social and historical experiences. And there is a lot for us to learn. And there is a lot for us to contribute also. It is not exactly that we have to have a replica from there. We can learn and we can contribute. So it has to go both ways. We have stopped probably contributing our side. We're just looking at different models, Jeffersonian democracy, Westminster model of democracy, French democracy, or German democracy. There is no model which could be, let's say, we refer to as a Bhutan's model of democracy, or Indian model of democracy, or Nepalese model of democracy, or Pakistani model of democracy. So the contributing part is missing. Or Turkmen model of democracy. Well, democracy is not a noun which has an intellectual property right by the Europeans. So it's a practice or an attitude linked with human behavior in terms of politics by different nations, by different countries, in a different manner, in different historical contexts. So we need now to contribute also on that account. Have I passed my 20 minutes?
No, sir, you can go on.
Okay. So I think so let's conclude this instead of just delivering a talk. I would take more of an interactive session and take more questions and a lot more time to that. Wouldn't it be a good idea?
I think so,
Yeah. So let me conclude then. So that's how I would try to summarize the challenges faced by Pakistan and the kind of response mechanism we are thinking about it.
बाखबर रहिए हर जगह हर वक्त बर वक्त। अभी सुनो न्यूज का यूट्यूब चैनल सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन पर क्लिक करें और जानिए मुल्की और गैर मुल्की हालात व वाक़यात यकीन के साथ।